So today class, we're going to be looking at the access capabilities of the access modifiers, the public, the private, the default, and protected. Now, in the past, we've talked about public, private, and default, but we're going to be looking at protected because protected deals with the idea of subclass access. So remember, with public access, you can access it within your class, within your subclass, within the package, literally anywhere you can access something that's public. If it's private, you only have access within the class. So the moment you leave this class, you don't have access. Default, which is when you don't put any sort of access modifier, is purely the class and package access. Protected means you have access within the class, the subclass, and the package. Now it's important the subclass access, and we're going to see that here shortly. So I have this simple access class I created. I have four fields, one that's private, one that's public, default, and protected. In our constructor, we just initialize all the fields. And then we have a toString method, which just prints them all out. Just again, demonstrate that it's working as intended. Okay, so this is our package. So in our package, I have this access client class. So let's open this up. So in the access class, I construct an access object, and I try to access all of the fields. A.data1 I've commented out because it doesn't work. It doesn't work because the first one was private. Public we have access to, default we have access to, and protected we have access to. So remember, they're access modifiers. Public anywhere, default within the package, protected also has package access. That's why I can access data 2, data 3, and data 4. Okay, now if I leave the package, so I go up, I have two more classes. I have a new access client and a sub-access class. So this access client, you'll notice I've got data 1 commented out. Data 2 works because data 2 is public, so we can access it anywhere. Data 3 and data 4 are commented out. Data 3 and 4, data 3 is default. We only have access within the class and in the package. Well, I'm not in the package anymore, so I can't access it. And data 4 is the protected, which has access in the class, subclass, and in the package. I'm not the subclass. This is not the subclass, and I'm not in the package. Therefore, we don't have access. So let's go to our last class. Subaccess. Subaccess extends access. So subaccess is a subclass of the access class. So look, I can now, data 1 is still private, so I can't touch that. Data 3 was default, which means it was, only accessible within the package. Data 2 public, I can access anywhere. Data 4, since it's a subclass, we can access it. So what is really handy about using protected? Well, if you want to be able to allow other classes outside your package access to fields, it's important to have that if you want you want to be able to allow access to those fields for subclasses. An example, you're a data software company and you'll sell some sort of software package that has all of these classes in it. And you understand that some of your clients are probably going to make subclasses of these classes. Well, if you use protected fields, they can access those in their subclasses. So that's an example of why you might want to use protected. Now, one other note here, notice this subclass doesn't call its superconstructor. You don't need to call your superconstructor if your class has a no parameter constructor. I can not call it. So usually we would say this, but I can get away with not saying that because it calls the no parameter constructor by default. That's the only scenario in which you can not call the super constructor in your subclass. If your superclass didn't have a no parameter constructor, you couldn't do that because you could only do that if there is a no parameter super constructor. All right, thank you very much and have a good day.